Hello, I'm State Senator Jen McEwen. I represent beautiful Duluth, Minnesota, almost all of the city of Duluth, right at the zenith of the Great Lakes.
Hi everybody, my name is Nick Frentz. I'm the state senator from District 19. I live in North Mankato and represent the greater Mankato area in the Senate, including all of rural Nicollet County and parts of rural Blue Earth and LeSueur County. Glad to join you today and answer a few questions.
I decided to run for election to represent my community in the Minnesota State Senate because I believe that we are facing a number of really serious challenges, environmental, social, racial, wealth inequality. There's so many challenges that we're facing right now, and I think that we need to be done with a status quo type of politic. So I really wanted to see somebody representing me at the time in my community who was a real fighter and who would really get in there and work for change in a number of areas. And so that's why I jumped in to be that voice.
The first question they gave me is, why did I decide to run? The main reason is to help people. You feel good about helping them. They feel good about being helped. And I think at the end of the day, that's what public service is to try to help people out. In the actual decision-making process, I was encouraged by my predecessor, Senator Kathy Sharon, over about a 5-year period. And she said that she thought it would be worthwhile and that I would do a good job. And I'm thankful for that because it is really a pleasure and an honor to do the work.
I hope that you won't feel nervous in reaching out to me or any of your other elected officials. I guarantee you that none of us are smarter than you are or have a better understanding of the issues that impact all of our lives than you do. You have the best understanding about the issues that impact your life, how they impact your life, and the changes that you'd like to see. So don't be shy. Feel confident and grounded in the knowledge of your own experiences and the wisdom and the experience that you bring to the table. The people who are making the decisions about how to vote on policy at the state capitol need to hear from you about your experiences, about your knowledge and your expertise and your opinions about what solutions would look like in your life.
I'd say don't be nervous. Remember that the people are the bosses of the legislators, not the other way around. There's no reason to be nervous. You should just come in and be yourself. The legislator's going to want to hear what you have to say and want to be responsive. So you have nothing to worry about. As for me, I'm a teddy bear. I really find it interesting the things people say, and I want to know more about the topic, so don't be nervous. Unless you are a member of the Senate who is blocking one of my bills from a full and fair hearing in a committee or on the floor, and then you probably should be nervous, but that's a different video.
I would say what most influences my decision-making is the needs of working people in my community. And I guess I would say probably my life experiences, over the course of my lifetime, I've seen sort of the evolution of our communities here in Minnesota and in the United States at large as well. Just the growing wealth inequality, and also as we've moved toward a real reckoning moment with the climate crisis. We've just been kicking the can down the road in many ways for a long time, and really perhaps not prioritizing regular working people in their lives and what they need in their lives to thrive and to do well. And it's just we've come to a breaking point. So I would say what most influences my decision making when I'm going to take a vote is probably thinking to what would benefit regular working people the most. Like, would what we're voting on help them? Would it create more barriers for them? Would it make life more complicated or harder for them? Or would it help them? Unfortunately, I would say that a lot of the legislation that we see at the Capitol is actually written by and geared toward helping the wealthy and business. And that's true, I think, in Minnesota and in many states and around the country, that legislation, unfortunately, is often written by and for the benefit of the wealthy and ultra wealthy. And sometimes the legislation can be helpful to regular working people, and sometimes it can be really harmful. And when we're really lucky, we have really good legislation that is written by regular people and advocates for working people. And that is the legislation that's really exciting to vote for. But unfortunately, a lot of the legislation we see is written by lobbyists for the wealthy and powerful.
What influences the decisions that we make? Well, there's a couple main things. First of all, the will of the people. It's not hard to determine what the majority of the people or your constituents want. They email you, they call you, they stop you on the street or in the grocery store, and they tell you. So the number one reason you should make a decision is because that's what the people you're working for want. But there's also information to gather to help you decide, and that includes testimony from people that are more knowledgeable. An example would be a psychologist testifying about the value of school counselors. They know things that the average legislature is helped to learn. And so expert testimony, whether it's in health and human services or transportation or any of the other jurisdictions, is one of the ways we make those decisions. And it's usually a good source too.
The best way to get a hold of me right now is probably emailing me or my legislative assistant, Fabian Bean. My email is sen.jennifer, regular Jennifer spelling, .McEwen, MCEWEN, @senate.mn. And my legislative assistant's name is Fabian Bean, and that's FABIAN Bean, BEAN, @senate.mn. And I think they'll probably put the connection or the email address for me and my legislative assistant into this video, so you can have that. But yeah, please reach out to us anytime. Email is probably the best way, most efficient way to do that. And I'm always happy to schedule meetings with you, either Zoom if it's long distance, or if COVID is looking, if the COVID pandemic is giving us trouble. But I'm always happy to schedule meetings. I'm here in Duluth most of the time. So I'm happy to grab coffee with you or just get on the phone, whatever works out best for you. But I'm here in the community, and I'd love to get together and talk with you about the things that you're thinking about and that you'd like to bring to my attention.
What's the best way to get a hold of me? It's not very surprising that standard ways like emails, calls, coming by the office in person when that's possible, text, carrier pigeon, whatever it is. We review anywhere from 50 to 200 emails a day in my Senate office, and usually can respond in the first few days. You can also call my legislative assistant. Each senator has an LA or legislative assistant who's responsible for receiving input and making scheduled appointments and the like. So it's not hard to get a hold of the legislator, I hope. And you should be able to get a prompt response to whatever your question is.
My favorite part of being a legislator is being able to be a voice for the underdog. Really, my whole career, I'm an attorney, and I have in my career really wanted to, I went into that type of work to fight for people who needed a champion, who were one way or the other coming up against large systems, whether that be within the criminal system or within with government, if they're fighting for their rights because of a disability or a status with a disability, and they're not getting the benefits that they are entitled to, or whether it's somebody coming up against the criminal system. I've always been really passionate about wanting to fight for people who need a voice. And I think that it's such a privilege and an honor in this moment in history where we are right now to be able to be that type of advocate, not just for an individual, which is really rewarding as well, but for my entire community. It's really an honor, and it brings me a lot of satisfaction to be able to be that voice for working people for my community.
When I was elected in 2016, my friends were all saying, hey, he's really going to enjoy it. It's not going to be like work for him. And I agreed. I thought I was going to have a lot of positive experiences. And honestly, folks, it's been better than that. It's really fascinating, and it's a pleasure to come to work in the Senate every single day. And that's the truth, I swear. Thanks very much for taking some time to review this. I hope to see you at the Capitol soon. Meanwhile, have a great day. Appreciate living and working in this great state. Bye-bye.